Hello and welcome back, folks. Heir of Kislev here, and we're going to continue our Frozen campaign to essentially stop the tide of chaos in Warhammer 3. Now, a couple things have changed since the last episode. Number one, patch 1.1 hit. I hope that the patch changes are backwards compatible, because I'm going to keep this campaign save going. I was told by people that they think it are. I'm not sure if I've seen anything definitive on whether it is, so we're going to give it a shot. Now, another couple of things have changed. I put some mods in. One of them gets rid of supply lines, which isn't going to make a huge difference in my income, but I did get rid of it. I hate supply lines. I think it's stupid where you add extra upkeep just because you started another army. So I got rid of supply lines. And then we also have a mod in that gives me 25% extra movement in my home territory. I had a similar mod in Warhammer 2 that I played. I've always really liked that type of mod because it gives me the ability to basically outrun enemies in your own province, and it also reduces downtime of you having to just like move very slowly through your own territory. So for me, it just kind of makes the campaign a little bit better. I also instituted a mod for a better camera, which just allows me to get more angles. Now, I could probably mod that myself by turning on the debug camera whenever you go into the script files, but I'm just trying out this better camera mod. I don't think it'll make a difference on the campaign map. Maybe it does, but I think it's mostly for battle. And then the last mod that I picked up was for infinite character respecs. And again, this is one that I used in the past, and it's just so that you can respec your character right here and change their skill points. I will mostly just be using that whenever we pick up a lord from a confederated faction, right? So that's pretty much it. I don't think there's a whole lot else to talk about in terms of what I've added. So I think we can continue from here. So most of these mods, other than the 25% movement and the upkeep thing, really can't be argued that it touches difficulty, but I was never playing this campaign to like try and peacock about how good I am at, playing difficult things. So in any case, let's see. Hannibal Baracus has some movement points. He doesn't really need to use them right now, though I don't think. None of my cities are at any direct risk. I do have this character, a Patriarch. It looks like maybe he was headed to shut down some rifts. But I don't see any more rifts in my territory. Speaking of, I do not like the buildings that we have set up in this province. Yeah, the buildings we have here are not what we want. So I think, that one can stay. It's good to have some basic infantry recruitment. This cavalry building is wasted there because it can't hit tier 4. This building doesn't provide any units that I actually want. Let's see, Motherland. We are just about to tip off the Confederation with Castalton. And, of course, if we do confederate him right now, we're going to wind up with a lot of bad upkeep because his army here. And we've also got a lot of demons to face down. That's okay. We'll deal with it as it comes. I've got a Frost Maiden here as well. But she doesn't need to be in that army. It looks like those are characters we were just developing. Let's see if I can remind myself. Oh, we need to be ready for, so yeah, Hannibal Baracus is basically just replenishing. We're recruiting. I've got a ton of Warbear riders here, and it's because we're going to be facing ogre armies. They've got a lot of Gorgers. Fortunately for me, Gorgers were nerfed, at least some in the last patch. They'll probably still be quite powerful. And then Tzarina Katarin is in the realm of Slaanesh being tempted, and she just hit level 50 with her skill points as well. So that is pretty good. Frost Blades, Skill Crown, Best of the Court. Now I didn't spend any points buffing sleds unless they were over a certain level. That's fine. I probably should have added extra sleds, ammunition. We do have 3 skill points. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put all that into the sleds because her army relies heavily on sleds. The patch did change light war sleds to have less armor, but I've got them buffed, and so that's good. It does make more of a difference for light and heavy sleds. I think that was a good change. by Creative Assembly, one that should have been made. Let's go ahead and end our turn. We've got some unassigned skill points, though, 2 here. In fact, we've got several, so we'll take care of these. Tzarina Katarin's Frost Maiden leveled up. We've got all of her magic tree handled. So at this point, once I do that, and once I have scouting, I want to make sure we've got Ursun's Protection, because that's 10% missile resistance. Then we'll probably totally buff Guardian's Call. And then with our Patriarch, we've got him at Immortality. He's max healing capability. So at this point, I mean, you kind of just put the skills wherever you want. For me, doesn't make a ton of difference on armor, but I'll go ahead and throw some extra armor on him because it just makes him a little more survivable. Let's go back in here. See if there's any other skill points. I don't see any skill points, so now it's just going to be telling me that we have characters who haven't moved. And let's take this character.
One step backwards.
Maybe head over here and see if we can get rid of some of these Chaos Agents. Got another Frost Maiden here. Let's just try and rid ourselves of some Chaos Agents and level these characters up. So we were successful there. Excellent. Basically, we can just get those characters leveled up and ready to jump into armies and serve for the future. And let's see. We have enough money to build these buildings. The reduction of Warbear Rider upkeep actually would be pretty handy. It's a little bit. I mean, it's not a lot, but... And it also gives me more fur, I believe. Yeah, it goes up to 75 bundles. Extra growth, too. So, I mean, I think this building would be worth it. Oh, man, if we confederate Kislev, we're going to go in the hole so bad. But we do have this building's going to start producing us some money from gold, too. At Wolfenburg. I forgot we had captured that. We have another agent there as well. We don't want to lose Wolfenburg. It's undergoing a rebellion right now, so we'll want to hold on to that. Got 2 turns till that other army finishes its Warbear Riders, though. That gold building is not quite as much upkeep as... or quite as much income as I had hoped. It's a lot more for some factions. We'll take it. We definitely want a military alliance. We'll take military alliances because hopefully it makes us more powerful, and then we can sometimes get them to... I mean, you can borrow armies from people at some points too. Is this Levia? Okay, well, there's nothing I can do about this right now. I don't believe so. We could fight this and try and cheese our way out of it on the map. That's a lot of blood letters, though. And I just don't see it happening. Let's just go ahead and auto-resolve here. Yeah, that was an army that was up there close to where Kislev faction is. Ice Court rules supreme. We already went into the negative because Wolfenburg has been sieged and we lost that income. Oh, and also Erengrad got sieged. They did that so that I wouldn't be able to finish recruiting my bears. That was actually a pretty sly move on the part of the ogres. I don't approve. So between those 2 settlements, we're losing income. Let's see what it would take to fight our way out of this. I was getting to say I have a pretty large settlement garrison that even has some Empire Spearmen in it. I don't imagine the ogres are really going to do well here. Let's go ahead and fight this battle. So Scrag the Slaughterer figured that he would get an opportunity to siege Erengrad, that this is what the Great Maw wanted him to do. And of course he has a Gorger spam, because why wouldn't Scrag? Unfortunately for him, Gorgers were nerfed in the patch, so rest in pieces. They were nerfed pretty good, if I remember right, too, because they were just overperforming in general. I think they're still good units, from what I saw. So anyway, his ogre army does have some lead belchers here. So those lead belchers are going to be firing away into my army. And what I decided to do, there's going to be ogre reinforcements coming in from behind me. Look at this. This is another... I found another glitch here that CA hasn't patched. My frame rate right now is about 90 frames per second. And if I turn the UI on, it just tanks all the way down to 30. Now 28. So CA, please, fix the game. Like, that is absolutely pathetic that the UI is taking away 60 frames, so that is, it's eating up 66% of my frames there whenever the UI is on. So it's a good thing I do cinematic battles here for you all rather than the other. But yeah, CA, please, I mean, for goodness sakes, optimize the game. It took them way too long to get this patch done. The patch is great. I'm glad to have it. But honestly, it probably shouldn't have needed to have been patched on a lot of that stuff. Maybe some bugs and things, but yeah, they've got a lot of work to do in the game. Anyway, my troops are firing away at the lead belchers. At least on this flank, I have some of my Cassars in range. Lead belchers are poorly armored, and they are very vulnerable to missile fire, so when you're using them, you do have to keep them out of range of enemy archers. However, they are very good against infantry formations. But like I said, you do have to keep them out of range because their large, flabby build makes them somewhat vulnerable to missile fire. So at this point, without their lead belchers, the ogres are charging forward. They're going to find an infantry line here composed of Empire spears, armored Cassars, Tsar Guard. It's going to be a pretty tough infantry line, and then the way the strategy is set up here, as you can see, I have staggered lines. My second line is my Cassar spears. So these guys will put up a good fight if the first line fails, and then my third line is going to be the Ice Guard. So basically, we're going to just deal with the ogres via attrition. Now, the ogre reinforcements came in. I charged them with my cavalry, kind of sacrificed the winged lancers that were part of the garrison to fix them, and then brought in my bear riders because the bear riders are going to do anti-large and AP damage. And there are several units of iron guts here, which are pretty strong. They are mixed in with some bulls and gorgers, but essentially, I've been able to stop all of the enemy reinforcements from arriving as well. And so what this is doing is it leaves Scragg's army alone. And while they try and pummel their way through my main infantry line, which is honestly a pretty tough line because of the Tsar Guard, and even the Empire Spears are going to do pretty good here braced. They don't have the leadership, but they are going to be able to hold back the large units for at least a moment. And then what that does is you can see the hail of missiles flying in from my second and third line. And with Gorgers, they don't have any armor. And so they already take a decent bit of damage while they're fighting in melee, but then they're also being picked apart by the archers. So Scrag is working here, but now he's being sniped by my Ice Guard with swords. So they are all focused on him, and he's not going to last long under fire. I will turn on the UI momentarily just so you can see his hit points here. He's down very low on hit points. Then I got to turn it off because I was down to 24 frames a second. CA, please. Anyway, all that's working, and now that I'm starting to defeat some of the ogre army, I'm going to turn some of my troops' attention back to the larger blob, which is taking place over here. So we've got the blob for the second army. Now my bear riders are a little overwhelmed, and so is my cavalry. They're doing very well. They've caused a substantial amount of damage, but I mean they are up against, you know, they're outnumbered several to one, so they needed some support. My archers have now turned around and started to open fire on the ogres, and I've got more archers moving into position, so this fight is going to be settled. Scrag the Slaughterer is now Scrag the Pierced, and he is laying on the ground, pierced by many arrows, and his broth here is unfortunately going to go cold. So the Great Maw is going to go hungry for the time being, but no doubt Scrag will be back soon. We know how the AI behaves. They just keep coming back over and over again. So now you can see I've got archers all over the map, turned and facing where I need them. The enemy reinforcements were out due to army losses while under heavy fire. I'm able to get all my warbears free, so I didn't lose any units of warbears. We lost some models, but we didn't lose any of the units, and that's very important. So we drove back the enemy. And then over here, there's just a unit of Gorgers left, which is unbreakable. So you can see the Gorgers here doing their thing, but they are going to be driven and routed. So good stuff here. But yeah, that's going to be just about it for this battle. Quite lovely. Hopefully CA will fix the optimization of this game because it is really quite beautiful, and it would be nice to see the game run better with, like again, here, watch, I'll turn on the UI, so I'm getting 90 frames a second. 33, 32, yeah. That's utterly obscene whenever you turn on the UI and you drop it like that. So there's still many things in the game that need to be fixed. I'm glad the patch came out, but CA needs to be on a cadence, in my opinion, releasing a patch every 2 weeks. And basically, it's just like a work in process, right? You run sprints and you tell people all the things you're working on. So like you put a roadmap out, tell them all the things you're working on, and then each time something gets ready to be in that 2-week patch, you tell them. And even if the patches are small, you just keep it coming so people know you're working. Anyway, let's get back to the campaign map. Alright, well, that was a solid victory for us there. Wasn't beautiful, but I mean, it was definitely a solid victory. We really didn't lose anything. Scrag lost all of his gorgers, and then his reinforcements took some pretty heavy damage before fleeing as well. We picked up a ton of experience and a decent bit here to add to the treasury. And I'm going to further add to that treasury because we're operating in the negative a bit at the moment. That should change as we break that siege. But maybe not. No, it hasn't changed. Did we really have that much money rolled up at Lebia? I kind of feel like we didn't. Oh no, it's because the Confederation happened. I thought it was supposed to ask me about the Confederation. I must have already clicked it or something. I don't know. Yeah, I just automatically confederated Kislev. And Kislevan's army is already suffering attrition and in pretty bad shape. We could just kind of throw it against these demon armies up here to slow them down because we don't want to pay for that at the moment. I don't know. He's suffering attrition. It's not because of plague. It's got an Ice Witch of Tempest
Maiden
there.
Of the Frosts.
We've got an Ice Maiden, and then we have a
Maiden of the Frost.
Maiden here.
Patriarch of Kislev.
We're losing the money at Wolfenburg. We need to go free up Wolfenburg, but we've got some recruitment that needs to take place here. But honestly, like if we keep recruiting here, we're going to be even more out of money. And Erengrad has decent defenses. They're a little weak right now. There's an ogre camp right out here in front of us as well. We need to get rid of that camp because it's going to be supplying them. So we've got a few things to do. Let's see. We've got Hannibal replenished. His sleds are back up and operating. I'm thinking about going and taking the settlement and then gifting it to the dwarves of Krakadrak. But it would cost me money to go resettle that, and money is at somewhat of a premium at the moment.
Tzarina Katarin of Kislev.
Let's just continue on with Tzarina Katarin. She is still in an encamped stance, and that's fine. I'm going to leave her in it so that we'll continue to replenish. We can reach the portal regardless. We could leave, pick up 90,000. I mean, because technically, the way that this stuff... Ooh. Ooh. I mean, they changed the way that the Realm of Souls works, so now if we have to block enemies at the Realm of Souls, we totally can. You know what I mean? Like, we can block them fairly easily. That is a huge buff right there. 250 growth, 25 control. How long does it last? Left the circle of Vanglory. The ultimate servant burst in 6,000 techniques it desires. Ready. Local. Oh, it's a it's something that sits on Tzarina Katarin. So it's not like total, but it's a retainer that you can put on someone or a piece of equipment. Maybe it's a piece of equipment. I can't tell. But it's either a retainer or equipment, and so it would only work wherever this army's at. Typically leaving the Thing of Souls is a big risk because if someone gets ahead of you, then you'll be in big trouble. But at the same time, like, that's a lot of money right now, and that'd be great. We could get a couple more armies equipped properly and really start to push our territory forward. And once we get that territory, then we'd be in a much stronger position to defend while we headed into the circles. Oh gosh. You know what? Let's do it. I haven't done this yet in my campaigns. Everything has just been really straightforward, like just go through and push through. Let's do it. Bring Katarin back. We'll take the massive payoff. And she is back here. We did not finish the fight in the Realm of Souls, so we didn't lose the trait. I think if you finish the fight, you lose the traits. So we'll have to shed them at a building. And honestly, like, we could use Tzarina Katarin to come back down here and help Kislev come clean up what the Demon Prince is trying to do here in Troll Country. That way we can hold Erengrad and the Nordland area with this new army. And as we pick up new territory, honestly, I actually think I'm going to take Kislev. Wolfenburg is in trouble. Closest help is this army. We just got these extra ogres around that we need to deal with.
I am truth.
Alright, well, I need Tzarina Katarin back here. Wish I hadn't turned that off because now she's going to take attrition, but whatever. I got to get Tzarina Katarin back. We really need to get the siege here lifted. Oh, it's going to actually give us the auto-resolve. Well, sweet. And that solves itself. Let's take the auto-resolve. I'll just take the treasury. It's not a lot, but replenishing these troops isn't going to matter a whole bunch right now, I don't think, because there's not another army right behind them. So let's go ahead and take the cash. We're trying to build up as much cash as we can. We should start to see the corruption here drop pretty substantially. And then as we get our income back on some of these places...
The right to rule. Only one I'll listen to is me.
Do I cancel this recruitment? Some part of me thinks I do. Cancel the recruitment, take out the ogre camps, make the extra money from killing the ogre camps.
Lord of all.
Some of my units are a little bit trash, but we should be perfectly capable of taking out these ogre camps. Or do we just wait and replenish? Yeah, I'm just going to wait and replenish. Get Tzarina Katarin down here. Now that I'm sitting on a bunch more money, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'll settle this with Hannibal's army, and then we'll gift it to the Dawi. Now, I do want to sit in it for... Oh, wow, I just picked up a Trickster's Helm. That's a pretty nice piece of armor. I don't know if I've done a good job of going through and looking at what's available to us, too. Whippable. And just making sure we've got... It's a stock. Unspottable. That would be pretty cool to have for Hannibal, to be unspottable. But he's got a Dawnstone. That physical resistance is really nice as well. Then again, if we fight a lot of demons... I think that the Helm of Discord is good, but let's add the Trickster's Helm. I mean, 10% ward save is hard to beat. There's not a lot of extra weapons at the moment, unfortunately. We could take some of the stuff like these glittering scales, which is not bad, and but the Dragon Helm's kind of crappy, for instance. We can use these and hope for like some more weapons. We got a great bear pelt. Perfect vigor. That's actually pretty sweet as well. So let's see if we have anything to fuse. We got another Helm of Discord here. We could fuse that with the Great Bear Pelt. The Great Bear Pelt is pretty good. Obsidian Lonestones are pretty useless. Let's fuse these and just see what we get. Mirror of the Ice Queen. Direct damage ability. That's pretty awesome if they're in melee. So that's like a Mortis engine effect. That's really good, in fact. That was definitely worth. And then Potions of Speed are pretty crappy too. Let's fuse these. Got the Brass Cleaver, which is melee attack +8 for an area. That would be a good one to add for Hannibal. Put that on him. We don't have an enchanted item for him, but this one we could throw on there, and that actually gives him a little bit of healing. So he is definitely better equipped now, and I don't think I'm going to get rid of the Dawnstone, because I don't see anything that I like better at the moment. We've also got this Sword of Strife here. Lizard Brooch makes you unspottable. I think that's worth keeping. The other Trickster Shard is kind of... but we don't have anything else to do it. And then we got the Trickster's Helm here, which is the ward save. I put the wrong one on. Let's put the Trickster's Helm on him. Save the Great Bear Pelt for someone else. I wonder about our new army. And then Kislev. We need to respec Kislev. So let's go into skills. This is where that respec mod comes into play. So we're going to respec Kislev. Let's grab him a Warbear. Route Marcher. Minus attrition. Do a Fervent Draft Master. Let's drop his upkeep cost. Help him replenish quicker. And then let's throw some upgrades on Cassars. And got his Warbear. Do Urson's Roar. I really need this Lullaby for the healing, which could have dropped a point at a Logistician, but that's okay. We'll get there. That's still a better position for Kistalton to be in. Let's look at his... Yeah, we don't need to do any respecking here because it's just a level 1 Frost Maiden that he's got with him. So let's take a look at Kistalton's equipment. Let's see what he's got. He's got the Burning Brazier here, which is going to be a really nice buff area there, but or actually I think it's whenever his hit points are low. Like cloaks. Okay, he has a healing thing there, that's good. We could give him the Great Bear Pelt for now. Actually, we have a couple of Great Bear Pelts and a Helm of Discord. Let's fuse those and see what we get. Let's see if we get something really nice. The White Cloak of Ulrich. It's not bad. It's a passive there that does a pretty nice debuff. And we can keep that for some other folks. Not amazing, but not bad. I don't know how we made out there, really. Dragonbane gems. These are worthless for the most part. Let's go ahead and fuse those, see what we get. Another Helm of Discord. I think we have 2 Helm of Discords now, because we haven't... I could fuse those, or just keep it for now. I think I'll keep it for now. The Helm of Discord is pretty good. Let's actually stop that, because I was actually about to drag it off of someone. The Helm of Discord go. Oh, we can't equip it on Kistalton? Oh no, he's got one. Okay. Alright, never mind. He's got one. We got decent equipment on Kistalton. As far as his maiden goes, let's see, I'd like to put that Unspottable on a Patriarch. Let's see, well, we've got all these characters. First of all, let's get out on the map. Wow, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to take care of here since we picked up Kistalton's faction. And we've got Tzarina Katarin back. Let's go ahead and spend some cash, because we just bought a bunch of it out in the Realm of Chaos. Get some defenses in these settlements. We no longer need growth here because everything is built. So let's drop that building. And we really want income as much as possible. I think I'm going to drop this building as well. And drop that one. There's income stuff we can build. Having a little bit of reduction to corruption is probably not a bad idea here. At least in one of these settlements. So let's drop those buildings so that we can better optimize what we have there. Go ahead and just start building everything up to top tier here. And we'll rebuild the settlement and then hand it over to the Dawi.
Only I.
And Kistalton's army is a little bit weak. I don't want to get caught and killed by these demons. I don't think we will, like, because I have the garrison here to help me. So it would give me a little bit of units to help. Let's leave Kistalton put.
Maiden of the Frost.
This is what I wanted to look at, is how many agents we had running around. We may have too many, and we could drop our upkeep cost by getting rid of some. I think we should.
Maiden of the Frosts.
So I've got some ideas. Let's get rid of this Frost Maiden because she is a lower rank. Then we can pull this one up here, which is level 7. So let's send her to do some scouting on Kistalton's army.
I am Kislev's daughter.
This Frost Maiden is not highly necessary at the moment. Same thing with this tier 1 Patriarch. Let's just go ahead and pick some of these characters. We just don't need all of these gallivanting around at the moment.
Live and die for Kislev.
I'd like to have one of each.
March
roaming the map still, so I think I'll go
Which
ahead
to
and
be?
kick her for now. Cannot be disbanded. I guess I don't understand why.
I control the frost.
There we go. Alright, well that reduced our upkeep costs some and got rid of a few agents that was going to have to do movement on each turn, and it still shows... really only want 2. She's headed to an army. This one then would be
Place of
unnecessary as well.
ice.
Those are dropping about 200 upkeep each. She's headed to an army. These are my 2 spares that I'm going to keep. Alright. So that reduces our upkeep responsibility by quite a bit. This is our Boyar. And let's see. He's got 8 skill points. I think it's good. He's in this army, so I think what we'll want to do is start off with firing drills and best of the court, then route marcher. Can't open a warbear yet, otherwise we'd want to get that. The reason I'm doing that is because that'll make his units much stronger. Like, look at the melee defense on these Khazars. So that'll make his army quite a bit stronger. And then we have the question here of what to do with these bears. I think I'm going to stop the recruitment of those bears just for the moment and go take out this Erengrad camp. And this looks like a pretty easy auto-resolve. We'll lose a Khazar spear, but we can, you know, re-recruit it. It's not a big deal. The replenishment's going to do very little. The money's going to do very little, but we are trying to replenish, so I don't want to add additional turns of replenishment by slowing it down. So that got rid of the Erengrad camp. That's going to help. We want our Khazar spear back. And honestly, I might just spam those for now instead of the warbear, because the warbears have a lot higher upkeep. Eventually, these characters will have their own bear mounts, and will need less of those units to help me. Let's deal with reassuring presence. It's good to be able to drop up our attrition rates.
My rule is absolute.
And Gust of True Flight, a really good spell to have. Freezing Winds is good because it drops speed when you're casting. And then let's go to Evasion and open up some of the infantry busting spells for that lore.
I demand absolute loyalty.
We want the Lullaby for the healing. And Replenish Troops is nice. We can do Icon of Strength. Okay. So, we've got 3 open spots to recruit for here. And it takes 3 turns to get Ice Guard. I would like to have 1 more Ice Guard with Glaive. But it's going to take too long, so we can't exactly get a hold of those. We have a few options here. We could put more Khazar Spears in, which is the most tempting option because it's the lowest upkeep. I could throw some Streltsy mixed in here. They do hit good against armor at range, but I find that despite their higher damage, in some ways they're just not as good as having Khazar Spears. Khazar Spears get such high melee defense once you upgrade them that they actually become pretty useful. Even late into the campaign, they become a unit that can tank a lot of damage and also dish a lot of damage if they're left to shoot from range, which sometimes they can when you have your single entity targets. So for instance, Gestalten here, rocking these standard Khazars instead of the Khazars with spears. He really should have the Khazars with spears. Now these ones have better melee characteristics in terms of attack, but they aren't as defensive, not quite as defensive, and they don't have the bonus versus large. But whatever, for now, we'll keep them because they're there, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time and money re-recruiting.
Frost Maiden.
You have another Frost Maiden up here that we can ditch. Or wait, is she the only one left? Yeah, she is the only one left, my bad. So let's go ahead and pull her down here.
Wherever winter asks.
And then we've got Lebia got damaged here. I'll try and rebuild it. It's probably just going to get attacked by the demon armies again. I've got my Urson thing going for another 5 turns. We can build an outpost, which would give us access to some different Empire units. None of which would be amazing, but, I mean, doesn't hurt. Keep that open, so let's build the outpost there, because we've got the cash to do so at the moment.
Be at peace.
Looks like the Reichland would be happy to take some different agreements for us. Let's balance that offer. and propose it.
Empire's blessings, yes.
Hey, that's good stuff. Got a quick deal
Azrael.
and
Zhao Meng, what do you need?
see if anything's
It
available.
is time.
Zefbar would consider a defensive alliance.
Yes.
Never
We could confederate these smaller factions, but it's actually more useful for me to have trade open with them at the moment, in my opinion. Okay. These are the wrong buildings here. I mean, those growth buildings could be handy if we... I don't think we need it because Tzarina Katarin's headed this way, and she'll help the growth with the trait that we... Or, sorry, the retainer we picked up for her. In fact, let's go take a look at that.
War.
Yep, the Dark Princess Paramour here, so she's got it. Speaking of, we should probably look at some of... let's put the Mirror of the Ice Queen on her. That would be a really good one. This is a nice debuff that Tzarina Katarin has. I don't know if we have anything I like more at the moment for her. The Armor of Silvered Steel is fine. Frostfang's fine. Blood of the Motherland. Massive buff. We've got this White Cloak of Ulrich, though, which would be really nice. Let's throw that on instead of the Blood of the Motherland, and so I think that'll leave Tzarina Katarin equipped pretty well.
Mistress of Ice.
The Helm of Discord, let's see.
None
Let's
shall
throw the
question
Helm of
me.
Discord on this character because he's more of a melee character. Obsidian Lodestone is really just bad. Let's throw that on him, and then I don't know if we have enchanted items. Yeah, these other Trickster Shard stuff isn't very good. Sword of Strife. Talisman of Endurance is good, so I don't want to fuse and get rid of that one. These are good. Sword of Strife. Let's go back here and equip that weapon. Might as well. Power Stone is a good equipment for her. And let's see. Spell resistance. I mean, I could just put it on her because we have nothing else at the moment that's really any better. The same thing with the talisman. I don't really have anything that's any better at the moment, so just equip it. As far as armor goes, I don't even think we have... we do have the Forbidden Rod, but it hurts her, and then we've already got a Power Stone, so there's no need to throw that on. Could take the Trickster Shard, which is kind of useless, and the Forbidden Rod, which hurts us, and fuse it and see what we get. Picked up another Mirror of the Ice Queen, which is pretty nice. Definitely some capable pieces of equipment there. Alright, well, so I think that we spent a lot of time on this turn-in kind of arranging things, but it needed done.
Hearts of
Is that Lebia? Yeah. Leblia? Whatever. However you say it. I am not surprised they went and attacked it because I spent some money on it, so my mistake. Shouldn't have spent any money on it.
The Tzarina bids you well.
We're not joining any wars at the moment. We've almost got the Dwarves of Krakadrak rebuilt to an entire province. Let's settle that issue real quick. So speaking of, let's give this settlement back to them. So diplomacy, Krakadrak,
Honor to your ancestors.
trade a settlement. I'm gonna give them this one here. Wait, do I still control? Oh no, those are their settlements. I want to give them this one. And it gives me some huge trade leverage. Really nothing I need to gain with them. We already have a military alliance, so we could just hit balance offer. They're willing to give me a bit of payment. There's really not much else they can give me. So that's fine, though. I'm just going to give it to them. This will improve my relations with them. And it'll give them a full province to work with. And it leaves them as a buffer state.
I stand for Kislev.
I guess I can't move Hannibal now for this turn. That's a little bit frustrating. Should have taken him out of the settlement before that happened. Can't move anybody right now. What the heck? Looks like this bug didn't get fixed, if that's the case.
Absolute
Yeah, I'm bugged. Well, I'm going to end this episode here because I'm basically out of time and it's bugged, and I'm probably going to have to reload to be able to come back in here and get my movement points back. Sometimes there's something you need to click in order to get that unbugged, but I don't think so because there's not something I have to choose, like a dilemma or something.
The sweet bond.
Yeah, there's no dilemma. So anyway, I'm going to have to just save here and come back. So apparently there's a bug that CA didn't fix during the patch, so CA please. And I will see you all soon with some more action in the Kislev campaign. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.